Welcome, everybody, in our series of Fist Flow in Sports Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it turned out to be many other days as well. It's a conversation with elite athletes, and today we have a special guest appearance as part of our Flow series. His name is Junior Lomomba. Junior was born and raised here in Montreal. He's the only player in history to win 2 state championships in Wisconsin. He represented Congolese national team as they qualified for the Olympics. He also signed a national letter of intent to play Division I basketball, and you will be seeing him next year because he is going to be leading our Sport Études here at Laval Junior Academy in 2021-2022. So to let you know our agenda, we are going to welcome him with some pictures and videos, which you'll see in a few moments. Our special guest, once again, Junior Lomomba. And of course, we'll end off as we usually do with what's called our rapid fire, and he'll be under pressure answering questions. So to get started, let's take a look at this video. And in order to do that, I just want to make sure the sound is working well. And I'm going to share this video of Junior and one of his golden memories.
It's National Basketball Signing Day around the country. Madison East Michaela Dyer officially signs with Bobby Kelsey's Badger program, and Sam Decker from Sheboygan signed his letter of intent to play for Bo Ryan next fall. At Madison Memorial today, Junior Lomomba announces his decision. He'll attend Cleveland State University in the Horizon League. Lomomba led the Spartans in scoring last season with 19 a game. He was second-team All-State and helped the Spartans capture their Division I state title. His decision came down to Cincinnati and Cleveland State. He just felt the Cleveland State program was the best fit for him.
Throughout my recruiting process, I really got along with the coaches, and after visiting there, I just felt like it was the best place for me. The right place for me to go and develop as a player and also as a man. I mean, that's every kid's dream. To be able to go to college, to have a press conference in front of the people that you love and that love you back.
So without further ado, a warm welcome to Junior. Welcome, Junior. Thank you for participating here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Junior, perhaps we can just start off by taking us back when you were 12, 13, 14 years old. Can you just describe the path that you took to start your basketball career?
Sure. I started off playing basketball when I was about 8, 9 years old. For me, it was really just my getaway, if you want to say, if you want to call it. It was my stress reliever, something that I loved doing, and something that I did with passion. So I started off when I was around 8, 9 years old. And I played for a team in Saint Michel in Montreal. And this is where I kind of developed through my early years. And then a little bit later, a few years later, at the age of 13, I had the opportunity to move to Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, to be more precise, where I had the opportunity to play high school basketball, to play in front of big crowds, huge crowds that I've never even played in front before. So it was an amazing experience. From that point on, I played AU basketball a little bit all around the United States. I represented the Canadian national team at the world level. Had the opportunity to travel the world, went to Germany, went to Brazil, went to Lithuania, to name a few. And from that point on, you know, I was starting to get recognition as far as a top basketball player in the United States and also in Canada. So I was also highly touted by college coaches in the Division One, in the NCAA Division One. And from there, you know, I decided my first year, I went to Cleveland State University, where you can see the video right there, which is brought back a lot of memories. And then from that point on, kind of just, I did 1 year at Cleveland State University, and then I transferred out, went to Providence, a little bit closer to home, did 3 years there, and then I finished my 5th year at Western Kentucky University. And then after that, I kind of took the next step, which is to go play basketball in Europe. I played in Greece, I played in Norway, and I also played for the Congolese national team in Tunisia. And yeah, now I'm back in Montreal trying to help and give back to the next generation.
Sounds like you had a lot of traveling and a very rich experience, all through playing your favorite sport.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing what the game of basketball can do to you. Me personally, I never thought about, I never had the means to travel the world. And same thing for my family, but basketball really allowed me to travel the world, experience different lifestyle, different countries, different languages, and ultimately get a free education. That's one of the biggest things. I mean, if you want to put a number on it, my education, which is crazy. When I think back, it's a lot of money. It's worth about $250,000 free of education, debt free. So yeah, that's all because of basketball. So yeah, basketball definitely did a lot of great things for me.
You know, we see you signing over there. You know that that day. What exactly does that mean to you? Because you're saying it's a dream come true.
Yeah, definitely a dream come true. I remember when I was in Montreal, early years, we didn't have the channels at home. We didn't have the channels to watch college basketball. So usually, I mean, college, when you're in college in NCAA, you play almost every 2 to 3 days. But when I was in Montreal, I was only able to catch like a game or two on the weekends. So on Sundays, Sunday early mornings on ABC, stuff like that. So, but just going back, I mean, thinking back and watching those games, that was always my goal, to, you know, play in front of 10,000, 20,000 fans, screaming your name, cheering for you, that type of stuff. So that's always been my dream. And like, I mean, like you could see in the video, it was a pretty emotional moment for me. I was able to be there, be surrounded by my family also, which made it even a greater moment. So it was definitely a dream come true.
How do you juggle playing basketball, NCAA? I believe you were studying management as well, full time. What is it like? I mean, you're in a new country. How do you juggle all that?
I mean, I'll be honest, it was hard at first. First thing first is the language barrier. I grew up speaking French. My mother speaks French at home. When we talk to each other, French is my first language. So definitely going over there at an early age, you know, all of a sudden you're in a math class where you learn the same thing that you used to learn in Montreal, but now you're learning it in English. So it was kind of like, it was hard at first, but throughout the years, you know, with dedication. And then another thing is just being around it so much. After a while, you become like a sponge. So you learn a little bit faster also. So that helped me a lot. And yeah.
So, you know, you talked about your travels all over the world. What did you like the most?
What country? Wow, that's a good question. I would say Italy.
What did you visit? Where did you go?
We actually had a tour. So every 4 years when you're in college, you have a foreign trip. So a lot of schools pick to go to Montreal, in Canada, where they come in and play against different teams here. But my head coach at the time decided to go overseas and go to Italy. So we basically had a tour. So We went to Milan, we went to Rome, Venice, and in each cities we played a game against other pros. So that was like basically that was like a warm up to my pro career, to my professional career, and yeah, Italy was amazing.
I know we talked, before this show about the difference between individual sports and a team sport. You think you can elaborate on that a little bit more?
Well, when you talk about team, there's no I in team. So right when we start talking about teams, you have to think about sacrifice. When I say sacrifices, basically to put aside what you're good at, or to sacrifice for the better of the good, for the better of the team. So let's say, I'll use basketball as an example. We have 5 guys on the floor at the time. Well, not every guy on the team, on the floor, will touch the ball. Not every guy on the team will shoot the ball, as not everybody will be the headline, also be in the newspapers, be on TV, have all the scholarship, that type of stuff. But you kind of have to accept the role and just try to add into the team, trying to contribute the best way you can for the better of the team.
I know we also talked about some of your more difficult moments. You talked about some of your injuries. What did you hurt and how did you rebound back?
I had a lot of different injuries. I hurt my foot, my wrist. What else? Well, I hurt my wrist twice. So I had to get surgery also. So that was pretty hard. And I mean, when you're hurt, you can't play. That's simple. For me, I mean, when you can't play basketball, you kind of lose your motivation of going to class, of doing what you're supposed to do. So basically, for me, it's all about discipline. When you're disciplined, of course, you want to play the game. Of course, you want to get better. You want to be out there with your friend and have fun because that's what you love to do. But on the other side, motivation can fade away with time. But discipline, that's what got me along my whole career. So from the time when I was 10 years old to when I was college, transitioned to my professional career, and also now in Montreal while I'm here trying to help the next generation, discipline is what keeps me going and keeps me on the right path. So
what's your definition of discipline? How do you get it?
How do I get it? It's about, I think, having a routine. Knowing what to sacrifice. When I think about sacrifice and I go back to my high school days, there's a lot of, even college, there's a lot of partying. There's a lot of stuff you can get into, but sometimes you have to have your priorities in place. So for me, it was basketball. Basketball was my priority. So that meant, in order for me to play basketball, I had to take care of business in the classroom. I had to come in every day and be ready to perform mentally, physically. So I think when we talk about discipline, we're talking about having priorities, and then from there, just having a little routine that helps you get to where you want to get to.
What about the values that you try to instill or that you will instill? Can you describe some of those?
I'm big on integrity, doing the right thing when people are not watching, because that takes you a long way. When you're a kid, when you're younger, you're gonna have your coach, follow you around, yell at you, do this, do that. But as you get older, you have to become a little bit more independent. So you have to be able to understand and have the discipline to say that, nah, today I have to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to go to the weight room. Then after that, I'm coming back home. I gotta eat healthy. I gotta be careful with what I eat. And then after that, I have to do my homework. And then at 12 o'clock, I gotta head down to the gym for the team practice. So, once you get a routine and you're trying to, you follow that routine, it helps you along the way.
So can you take us to some of your best performances? What were you thinking before a game?
I'm big on preparation. So visualization is a big thing for me. When I come into a game, it's like I've seen the game before. Like when I play the game, it's like a movie in my head. So I just kind of click play and it goes right along. So the night before, you have to prepare, you have to watch film. We have scouting reports. Once you get to a competitive level, you'll get scouting reports about other teams, what their best player likes to do, the set plays that the team runs. And then from there, you kind of visualize yourself in the game already. Okay, this is where I will get the ball. This is how I play defense. This is how I stop this guy. And you just keep playing that tape over and over in your head. And then once you get to the game, you kind of just trying to put all the pieces you thought about, what you played in your head, into action.
Yeah, it makes sense. You had mentioned that you didn't get much help from a sports psychologist or a mental performance, consultant. What, if any, sports psychology preparation did you get, whether it's yourself as an individual or as a team?
As a team, I know we had a couple psychologists on the staff. Well, people in charge of making sure that we're doing okay first and foremost, and that we are ready to perform. But me personally, I really took that upon myself. Just being prepared each and every day, ready to perform. So yeah, I mean, as far as me having one, I didn't really get to work with a sports psychologist, but I think it's a good thing, honestly. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add about that.
Sure. It sounds like the higher up you would go, then the more demand on the mental skills that are going to be required. Whether you go from the recreational, the provincial, the national, the international, would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, definitely. And just to echo what you're saying, I don't know if you ever heard the saying that the game of basketball, well, mostly any sports, is really 90% mental, 10% physical. And I mean, we talked about it earlier too. As you get older and as you start playing more competitive basketball, there's a lot of things that comes into play also. Stress, anxiety, just knowing that you have to perform and that if you don't perform well, you may be cut, you may lose your scholarship, you may get heckled by fans, even threatened. So, I mean, as crazy as it may sound, it happens. So there's a lot of stress, and you see a lot of guys have anxiety, that type of stuff. So I definitely think that it would be helpful to have a sports psychologist.
So let's say you would put yourself into a time machine now, and you're like most of our audience right now, 12, 13 years old. What would you do? What would you do differently?
What would I do differently? Not much, honestly. I mean, of course, there's always so much things you can do. But to me, I had a vision. From a young age, I had a vision. And what is pretty impressive is I remember when I was in sixth grade, our teacher made us write she made us write a letter to ourselves in 10 years. And I think a few years ago, I went back and read my letter, and everything that I did was on that letter, which is pretty amazing, honestly. The only difference is in my letter, I said that I was a part of the Georgetown University, the basketball team, because of Allen Iverson at the time and everybody, but I ended up playing against Georgetown. So we played in the same conference. But yeah, other than that, I played college basketball. I went to the US. I traveled the world, and ultimately I played professional basketball. So it's pretty amazing.
Okay. So as we're getting closer to our final segment, before we're going to ask our audience to ask some questions, and you can do that in the chat. I'm going to send you all a text message, a message through the chat, excuse me. If you can all check in. So please take a few moments, look at the chat. You're going to see a Google form. Please check in. So we just keep track of attendance. We know who's here and who's not. We'll please ask you to check in and perhaps write down some of the things you like so far of our conversation with Junior. I'm also going to invite you guys to write down some questions. Could be through our rapid fire section. Junior, are you good under pressure?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, what's the biggest audience you've been, that has seen you perform or play?
About 17,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 17,000. But it's different when when you're playing, when you're locked in the game, focused. You don't really see the people, the fans. But I mean, now I'm kind of. Wait, let me see how many people we got here. Okay. I don't have a basketball in my hands, so it's different. So I don't know.
Throw distraction.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to pull something up here, and maybe you can just walk us through what you see over here. You can see my screen?
Yep.
So you're about to throw a free throw here.
In all shapes
and I'm sure
sizes.
You've seen thousands of people trying to distract you.
Do they really distract the players? Oklahoma State point guard Keaton Page admits they get into his head.
I've always been taught from an early age not to pay attention to them, because a free throw's supposed to be the easiest shot in the game. That's why they call it a free throw. You have nobody guarding you. It's finding your opportunity to have a free shot. So, but they do get distracting at times, and it's just a mental game when it comes to a free throw.
Fans like to focus on that mental game.
So how do you stay focused?
How do I stay focused? I try not to look at the fans behind the rim. There's really no secret. I mean, some fans are just great at what they do. They have all types of stuff, posters, they throw stuff up in the air, they say your name out loud. Sometimes they even say the names of your family members. So it's kind of like, it can be hard, but you just have to do your best. Like, I can't remember his name, this player, but he played for Oklahoma State. Like he said, it's called a free throw for a reason. So you basically have to stand to the line and make a free throw.
Okay, so we're going to introduce our section of rapid fire. Okay, I'm going to load up a music in the background. So we're just going to ask you to stay patient. If you're ready, Junior, just tell me that you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So you've got a few seconds to answer these questions. Do as best as you can. So, most free throws in a row.
Excuse me?
Most free throws in a row.
In a game or in practice?
Yeah.
In a game?
Yeah.
I want to say 7.
7? What about in practice?
37. 37 in a row.
Most wins in a row.
Ooh, good one. 8.
Most losses in a row.
Ooh. 10 easily.
Would you rather shoot a 2-point shot or a 3-point shot?
2 point.
2 points?
Yeah.
What about biggest comeback ever?
Biggest comeback ever against Villanova, down about 12 points. Yep.
Favorite team to play against?
Favorite team to play against? Villanova.
Your role model?
My role model. Good question. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. One of a former coach, Shamgad. He now coaches with the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA. That's one of my role models.
What about your most embarrassing moment as a player?
Airball in the game. I airballed a free throw.
So, Junior, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for your insight and everything that you've been sharing so far. I'm going to pass this off to some of our students, and we're going to ask them to write some questions in the chat, raise up their hands. We have Nicholas Russo. Are you there?
Yes.
So, Nicholas, if it's okay with you, I'm going to ask you to ask your question. For the others, write this into the chat, into the question to everybody to hear, and then we'll get perhaps Coach LeMay to moderate that. Nicholas, ask your question to Junior, please.
What was the hardest team you've played against?
At what level? Because there's a lot of good teams out there. College, high school.
Just in general, in your opinion, what was the hardest team you've played against in your entire career?
Team USA. When I represented the Canadian national team, we played against Team USA with a lot of good players that are actually in the NBA today. So yeah, it was pretty tough.
Okay, thank you.
Coach LeMay, you want to take it away?
Pleasure. Hi, Junior. All right. So what do you eat on a daily basis?
On a daily basis? Well, now that I'm not playing anymore, I kind of enjoy myself a little bit, but I'm big on pasta. I'm big on pasta, chicken Alfredo. Yep, that's my favorite.
What about pre-game?
Pre-game pasta also.
Post-game?
Post-game, pizza. Pizza.
So Coach LeMay is in charge of our Sport Études program, our administrator, our coordinator. You're going to get to see lots of him when you come in next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Your favorite NBA team?
Favorite NBA team today? Los Angeles Lakers.
And why is that?
LeBron James.
LeBron, okay. Historically, pretty good, the Lakers too?
Excuse me?
Historically, the Lakers are pretty a good team too, right?
Yeah, definitely one of the best franchise. Them, Boston Celtics. But I kind of follow LeBron everywhere he goes. So I'm a Laker fan today.
Okay, so therefore, your favorite NBA player?
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Your sorry? Your favorite NBA coach?
Favorite NBA coach? I'm kind of biased now because he's Canadian, but Steve Nash. He coaches the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, good choice. I just want to go back to your role model. He was a former coach. What did he actually? What kind of values did he share with you? Or why is he your favorite role model?
He's a good role model to me because Shamgad. His name is Shamgad. I don't know if some of you guys want to Google him later on. Shamgad. I'll write his name down later on. But he's a basketball legend. He also played at Providence College. He played in the NBA. He then went overseas and played in China for a couple of years. And after a while, I think he got hurt, so he came back to the US. And when he came back to the US, he came back to Providence College and was an assistant coach. So that's why I met him. And he's just big on working hard. No matter what happens, if I don't play a game, if I have a bad shooting night, just to stay focused, to go back in the gym, and to control what I can control, basically.
That's a good one. When you left for the U.S. at 13, did you go alone?
Yes, I did. But I moved in with my uncle. His name is Hensi Oriental. He played at the University of Wisconsin. He's from Montreal also. So yeah, I moved in with him, and he kind of raised me also. So yeah.
Another role model. They want to know, okay, how tall are you now?
6'4".
6'4"? How tall were you when you were 12, 13?
About 6'1". I was tall, lanky, tall, skinny, but I could jump. I could jump pretty high. So that was like one of my strong points, jumping.
So how old were you when you got your growth spurt?
I think I've always been tall. I stopped growing so I went when I got to the US, I was about 6'1", and then I spent a whole summer, an entire summer there, came back here, and everybody was like, oh, you grew, you like 6'4", you have to be 6'3", 6'4". And then from that point on, I think I was stuck. I got stuck at 6'4", fortunately.
So any hopes for our basketball players that are not that tall yet, and any recommendation on what they could do to help their growth?
There's a lot of things. Me personally, I was tall early, but there's some other guys. I mean, some of my teammates grew late. You can talk about guys like Kevin Durant. Who else? Well, let's talk about Kevin Durant. When he was in high school, he was short, so he played the point guard position. The shortest guy usually is the point guard, the one handling the basketball, that type of stuff. And then he had a growth spurt. Grew up to about 6'10", 6'11". So he kept all those assets, all those skills, but now he's 6'11". So that's lethal. At 6'11", being able to dribble, shoot the ball. So the best advice I have for guys is to continue to stretch, try to be careful with what you eat, and play basketball all day, all night.
Good advice. Your highest point, how many points did you get in a single game?
44.
Oof.
Against your favorite team, I guess?
Nah, not against my favorite team. It was in high school, I believe. It was in high school, yep. I think my junior year. I may have a highlight on YouTube of that. 40 or 44 points, yep.
It's amazing.
You won.
Yeah. 44 points with a if you lose the game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
Have you ever played in March Madness?
Yes. Twice. Unbelievable experience. It's just fun. You know, everybody dream of playing in March Madness, of hitting the last shot, of, just being a part of that whole dynamic. And I remember one of the greatest thing is, first of all, you get there, you're on a private jet. Once you land, you get on the bus, and there's like, you're being escorted to your hotel by police officers. And so it's nice, man. It's top-notch security. You're basically like a star.
Did you guys go far in the tournament?
Well, we beat USC, University of Southern California, to make it to the second round. But unfortunately, we lost to the University of North Carolina twice, that year and the year prior to that.
And you guys were rated what? What seed were you?
I can't remember, but we were high seed because throughout the year we were like top 25 in the country. We had a lottery pick, NBA player, and Chris Dunn, who played with us, who led us, and he now plays for not the Chicago Bulls, for the Atlanta Hawks. And so yeah, we were pretty good.
So while we're doing attendance, Junior, I'm just going to give you a couple of feedback that we've got some of these athletes that you are talking to. They liked the vision that you have. They liked the fact that you went to go see Italy and that you're explaining some of the things that you did there. The fact that you played NCAA. He's inspiring to, if I can just share that to Cristiano. Okay, definitely an inspiration. Down to earth, says Cristiano Moniz. Okay, excuse me, down to earth, said Charlie Pimentel. And so just to show you, as the students, I get to see, and we do read your comments, motivating, he's very positive. So you're very inspiring to a lot of these people, Junior.
Thank you. That's good to know. And that's my goal, basically, to come in and try to have a positive impact on every athlete's life, everybody that I encounter, really. And, that's just nice to know that people can sense that from me also, that I'm reachable, down to earth. So yeah, it's great.
So I'm going, before we move on to our last section, which will be our principal, who's going to close that by thanking you and saying a few words. Coach LeMay, any last question or two?
Sure, there's plenty of good questions. Any, do you play a video game like 2K21?
Yes and no. I'm not good at it. I'll be honest, I'm not great at it. So I tend not to, I have little cousins and nephews and stuff like that. So I play once in a while, but I don't play that much. No, I don't play that often.
And a good one, do you have any regrets from your career?
No, I wouldn't say regrets. I learned a lot, had a lot of life lessons. And I mean, those life lessons made me Junior Lomomba today. So they basically made who I am today. And I'm very grateful for all that. So no regrets. Life goes on. Of course, my goal has always been to be in the NBA. Didn't happen. But I still got to play professional basketball. I'm still tied up with a lot of guys that are playing in the NBA now. And my job right now is just to help the next wave of guys and girls, basketball players in Montreal, in Canada especially, to make it to the next level. So it's my goal, and yep.
Fantastic.
Great stuff. So I'm gonna pass the torch out to our principal over here at the Laval Junior Academy, who will thank you and say a few words. Mr. Ruji.
Thanks, Coach D. Hey, Junior.
Hey,
nice to see you again. Junior, I'm going to just get a couple of questions in and then make a comment before we close. So you said you grew up in Saint Michel, and that's actually the area that I live in, so I know it well. Question for you. Have you ever played against or with Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors?
No, I haven't. He was a late bloomer. I think we're about the same age, but he was definitely a late bloomer. So I was already in the U.S., already in college playing ball when he started getting recognition. And like I said, he's a late bloomer. I think he had a growth spurt also. And now, look, he's in the NBA doing amazing things. So shout out to Chris Boucher. He's making us proud. Yes,
absolutely. So Junior, one of the first times I met you was when you were doing the tryouts for our grade 6 students and Sec 1 and 2 students at Laval Junior about 2 months ago. And when I walked into the gym, you were shooting hoops with a couple of the other coaches. And I've watched my share of basketball games on TV and in person, mostly high school games in person. But when I walked into that gym and you were shooting hoops with some of those coaches, what impressed me the most, just as you were shooting hoops there, is how hard you bounce the ball. I've never seen someone bounce the ball so hard. Like you were bouncing the ball as you were preparing to shoot. You were bouncing the ball between your legs as you were, playing around in the gym. You were bouncing it behind your back. I've never seen somebody bounce the ball so hard. Is that how hard everybody bounces the ball in the NCAA, or is that just you?
Nah, I think every guard that plays the game at a high level dribbles like that. It's funny that you say that. I don't feel like I dribble hard and stuff like that, but I guess it became a habit because when you're playing against fast guards, gritty guards that are tough to play against on defense, you have to be able to control the basketball. You have to be in control of your body also. So, I mean, with all those years of experience, it just became a habit. But
amazing. Amazing. And I got to say, it impressed me so much. And it's how hard you dribble, how fast the ball moves from one hand to the other. It's lightning speed. I've never seen that so hard and so fast live. It was truly impressive. And okay, so Junior, I want to thank you as well for spending the night, spending part of your night with us here this week. You're part of an elite group of special guests that we've had on our sessions, not only this year but last year. Some are former students of our school who've gone on to play professional or at an elite level, representing their country or even playing at a professional level. So we're happy to welcome you into our family at Laval Junior. We're so optimistic about the basketball Spotted Suit program next year and having you there with your experience, your expertise. Great things are on the horizon for our student athletes who are in the basketball Spotted Suit. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh. Yep. So yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to share with my extended family now, and I'm excited. I can't wait to get on campus, get to the school, and get to working with the student athletes, and get going. I can't wait with this pandemic. Can't wait to be back on the basketball court. Can't wait to help out kids again, pursue their dream, and have a positive impact on people's lives. So thank you again, Mr. Ruji, Mr. LeMay, Coach. A pleasure.
So Junior, I want to also thank you as well. You were amazing. You were very inspiring. And we are going to see each other very soon. Good luck. Thanks, everyone, for attending. And we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Hope you have a good day.